In the beginning of September, the Indonesian government finally decided to raise the price of subsidized fuel. Although the government said they had no choice, the impact is wide and significant, as economists fear it will push up inflation and even drive more people into poverty. Metro Globe's Krishna Sam has more on the story.
After weeks of speculation, on Saturday, the 2nd of September, the Indonesian government finally decided to raise the price of subsidized fuels. As global oil prices continue to remain high, the Indonesian government said that it was putting a heavy burden on the state budget, as spending on fuel subsidies had tripled since the start of the year. So the government said they had no choice but to raise subsidized fuel prices by up to 32%.
So why is this so significant? Well, because in Indonesia, subsidized fuel is very widely used. In 2021, 80% of Indonesian consumers use the subsidized fuel variant Pertalite. I mean, while subsidized diesel is used for everything, from millions of micro, small, and medium-sized businesses to fishing and farming, so naturally, many people were concerned and upset.
The fuel price hike sparked protests all across Indonesia as thousands of people stormed government offices demanding that they reverse their decision. Concerns were indeed widespread as the fuel price hikes would affect the livelihoods of millions of Indonesians. For example, many fishermen across Indonesia said they could not even afford to go out fishing anymore because the price of diesel had become too expensive and they could no longer cover their costs.
BBM naik, jadi kalau seandainya mau melaut tuh kayak susah, harganya itu nggak stabil.
Dapat nggak solarnya?
Ya kadang nggak dapet gitu. Jadi gimana ya? Kayak rebutan gitu.
Because subsidized fuel is so widely used in Indonesia, many economists are concerned that the fuel price hikes could push up the prices of everything from transportation to manufacturing and even food prices, possibly posing the danger of high prices and slow growth.
Mas Bima, following the fuel price hikes, is Indonesia at risk of stagflation?
I think the danger of the stagflation is very imminent. It's very immediate dangers of the economy, which is seeing inflation is rising, perhaps up to 7 to 7.5%. But on the other hand, the number of the worker absorbed in the industrial level is still low.
Inflation was already on the rise, but now after the subsidized fuel price hike, many economists are expecting inflation to surge even higher than their previous estimates of around 4%. Now it could soar up to 6 to 7% or above. Even Indonesia's President Joko Widodo said that the fuel price hike could push up inflation by 1.8%.
And higher inflation caused by the subsidized fuel price hikes is also sparking concerns that it could push more people into poverty. The in-depth economics think tank is projecting that the poverty rate could increase from 9.5% to 10%. And the Celios think tank also have similar concerns.
The impact of the fuel price increase that affecting the poverty line, when the poverty line is also increased, the number of the middle class, which is just a threshold of the poverty line, can be get down to become a new poor persons that we can say that around 10 up to 10.5% the number of the poverty level will be this year's or will be like still in the next years. So I think it's very important to consider that these poor people is not covered all by the government subsidies, even if they cover is not enough, and the impact from the volatile food inflation is immediate to this poor household.
Meanwhile, the subsidized fuel price hikes will also impact one of Indonesia's most important sectors, namely micro, small to medium-sized businesses, which in 2021 accounted for 60% of Indonesia's GDP.
What impact will higher subsidized fuel prices have on MSMEs, micro to small to medium-sized businesses?
Yeah, I think MSME is one of segment of the economy that might have a significant impact from the fuel price hikes, because from the fuel price hike, we are expecting that the logistic or transportation costs will be much higher, so that it will increase the production cost for the MSME business players. This will also lead to the lower demand side, or the purchasing power of the consumers of the MSME product.
First round effect would be the increase in the production costs and the transport costs, and it will hurt the small to medium sized businesses. But again, this is the kind of economic agent that the government needs to protect SMEs, and the government also needs to think how to actually give them some sort of a subsidy or incentive to maintain their productivity level, given that the rising oil prices.
To counter this, the Indonesian government said they're planning to roll out cash assistance programs whereby each micro, small to medium-sized businesses could receive 1.2 million rupiah. The government have already launched a direct cash assistance program for low-income groups whereby 20.6 million families will each receive 600,000 rupiah over the space of 4 months.
But there is no question that the subsidized fuel price hikes is concerning, and only time will tell how significant the impact will be. Krishna reporting for Metro Globe.